Paul and Suzanne, a year has passed and you're now in a situation where you want something tangible. You want to make sure somebody does not go through what you guys have gone through. What's your plan, Paul? What way do you want the authorities to listen to you?
Well, the authorities don't listen because they only act when something happens. So what needs to be done? Stop and search needs to be brought back.
Hasn't gone away, Paul.
But the problem is that they put it down to race. But I don't care if anyone's carrying a knife, they shouldn't be carrying a knife. It'll protect anyone else that's on the streets as well. It just needs to be brought into a bigger situation because no one seems to be doing anything. We seem to be protesting, we seem to be coming on shows, talking about things. The government need to realise that there is a problem. A lot of kids are getting killed due to knives.
Alison, one of those kids, sadly, was your lovely boy, Joshua. Yeah. What do you think needs to be done?
I think stop and search and the rules around knives and sentencing, yes, that is part of the bigger picture. For me personally, it is about education because the mindset of so many young people is that carrying a knife is for protection. And as we know, so many young people are losing their lives every single day. Tonight, guaranteed, another young person will be murdered by a knife on the streets in this country. And Paul's totally right, no, the government is not listening. 37,000 stabbings in the last 12 months, but there hasn't been an emergency government meeting to discuss that.
And so why is it on the rise? Why are these young people feeling the need to carry a knife?
I think, as we were just saying there, they think it's for protection. I think it's embedded in a culture around inner cities. I think the youth of today, I think they're just feeling that they've got no hope, they've got no future. I think it is a broader issue than stop and search. I think stop and search is one tactic. I think education at an early stage, a lot of these kids are on this estate, they've got no future, they've got no hope, they've got no guidance, they've got no respect, they drop out of education. There's a whole
they've got a lot of confidence, they're very cocky.
Well, they can be, because they're not
it's one thing
stopped.
carrying a knife that's concealed on your person. It's another thing walking around with a machete. That shows somebody who thinks nothing's going to happen to me.
Absolutely. And that happens. But going back to stop and search, it's never gone away. But I think what Paul was saying there was, Theresa May said 4 or 5 years ago, it's disproportionate the number of black or non-white people that were being stopped. And I think what Paul wants to say, it shouldn't be disproportionate. What should be happening is that people out there who are carrying knives should have a healthy fear the police are going to stop you. At the moment, it is my opinion, I think Commissioner Dick is very forceful around stop and search. It is a tactic and it is a deterrent. But I also think there are many other issues around education,
also,
around communities,
getting
role
hold
models.
of these weapons, Paul, you know, I mean, we're talking, this is a machete.
It's so easy. We done it a couple of weeks ago. You go onto the internet, you don't have to tell them your age. You just give them the postcode and you just pay for it, and it just comes straight away through.
I think Suzanne and Alison, I want to talk to you now about the impact of all of this, because these are not victimless crimes, and you know, you got to let. When I met you coming in this morning, you were saying 4 years, exactly 4 years.
4 years yesterday.
And to anybody who would say, you know, it gets easier with time, what would you say?
No, it gets harder with time because when you have a child, you can't imagine your life without them for a second. If you actually think about your own child and them dying, it sends a shiver. So to actually live that, the longer it goes on, the harder it is, because you know it's been 4 years since the last time I kissed him, the last time I saw him, and I'll never ever see him again.
Suzanne is 3 years behind you in this journey, and she will be experiencing things that you will have gone through. Suzanne, from your point of view, this has even affected where you work.
Yeah,
Why?
It gets harder every day because I live and work in the area that my son got stabbed. So for me to go back to that area now is so hard for me to do. You know, I never ever dreamt that my son wouldn't be here.
The bloodstains are still on the road.
Yeah, it's still a reminder that he was there and that night what happened. So for me, it's not going to get easier, it's going to get worse.
And also, Paul, you know, you lost your son, but your other children, they lost their brother, and you're very close family. How are Perry and April doing?
Terrible. Ricky was Perry's best friend, and April. She's not the same. It kills the family, it doesn't just kill the person. But when someone's walking around with a knife, they just stab the person and just walk away or get away with it. But it's what happens after that. And the thing is, the government need to realise that they've got to do something. It's why have we got to do it? Why have we got to stand up and fight for it? The government are there for us. They're not doing nothing.
Well, they say they are. The Home Office are saying, Sue, we are determined to tackle knife crime. We've banned zombie knives. We're working with major retailers to stop underage sales. What about overage sales as well?
But we...
The retailers are not doing that.
They're not-
Because I'm walking into shops now where knives are displayed with no tags and nothing on them.
But every single house in the UK has the #1 murder weapon. So, again, it's part of it. For me, it's changing the mindset because we all have got a murder weapon at home.
Yeah.
We can't stop that, but we need to change the way so many people are thinking that a knife isn't going to become a murder weapon, but it is every
Sue
day.
was saying about this education in the communities.
It is education.